We are live.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the studio. It's been a few weeks now, so I'm pleased to be here. It's a beautiful day here in Portland. I have to say today I am a little bit nervous. I don't know, I usually don't get very nervous doing these, but today I'm a little bit nervous. I think a couple things. We're having a couple little technical issues this morning that made me a little jittery. And also, I have so much to share with you guys. I just feel like where to start, really. So I think I'm going to start with talking about IAPS a little bit. Some of you guys that are monthly pastel painting lessons members have already heard all about it. And I got to meet some of you guys there, which was so wonderful, probably the best part of the trip for me. But it was really a wonderful convention, International Association of Pastel Societies in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So I was there with Kevin, and his wife came to help me. Well, Kevin came. Rebecca just had a good time, I hope. But I did 2 presentations for just such nice group of people. It was just really wonderful, and the whole week was just filled with smiles and people celebrating pastel, and so it was just overall, it was just really, really wonderful. Dinners with friends, and it was a great experience. And I won an award. I had a piece, the rooster was in the Master Circle division of the exhibition, the Pastel World exhibition. And I was so surprised that I received an award of excellence, really an honorable mention for the piece, amongst so many amazing pieces. So I was really surprised. New body of work. It's always great to get recognized for something new that you're really excited about doing. So it was super wonderful. And then, you know, I met so many new artists, some new people on the pastel stage, really, and it was really exciting to talk to those people and old friends that I've known for a long time. And I just came home so invigorated and inspired and just really wanting to get at the easel with pastels. So that for me was, you know, the second best thing about the trip, really. And coming home, we're launching monthly pastel painting lessons online, our 4th year, which is crazy amazing. And very exciting. We have a theme this year that is around the world. So we focus on a different region around the world for each month. But what's really even better than that, well, that's pretty exciting. But even better than that, we've added a bunch of new features to monthly painting lessons online that I'm really excited about and proud of. We've added an additional live stream lesson that focuses in just on critiques. So the whole live stream will be critiques. We already do critiques on the super stream lesson that is an in-depth 2-hour live stream, but I do a demonstration during that and critiques and have a focused lesson. So the critique stream is a new feature. The other new feature that I've been wanting to add to the monthly subscription that I just kind of haven't figured out how to do is a feature that we call Inside the Artist Studio, which is an opportunity for me to share what I'm doing personally in the studio, what I'm working on, what I've got on my mind, how my whole process, my insights, how I'm feeling about things, just that whole thing, which that emotional side of what goes on in the studio, how to handle all that, I think is something that is sometimes we kind of miss out on. How you handle things like a block, or when you're painting a bunch of duds or whatever that is. So this past week, one of the things that I was working on is some Italian cityscapes, and I've had this stack. Well, I think a lot of us do, of reference photos that you just haven't gotten to. And I've had that stack for a really long time, and I came home and I said to myself, I am going to get after that. So what I did was I filmed myself painting 6 underpaintings. Bryce, can you? Yeah, there they are. And I did them all pretty quickly. And the idea behind doing 6 underpaintings is this for me, that I have a start. I have an avenue into those paintings just by doing the underpainting. I have 6 of them. So if only 3 of them are successful, in my mind successful, there's going to be some success that comes out in each and every one of them. Maybe not a finished painting, but something, some little kernel that I'm going to take. But having 6 of them instead of just 1 is so important to me, because now all weekend long I'm going to be coming back out into the studio and I'm going to grab one of those and I'm going to work on it. I've already finished, I think is finished, 2 pieces. This one is Piazza San Spirito, a restaurant in Piazza San Spirito, and it's a little osteria. My friend Ivano, Deborah and Ivano are the people that I work with when I go teach a workshop in Italy, and Ivano buys oysters here. And I was talking to Deborah actually yesterday about this place, and she was saying that it's a really, it's run by some really cool young people. It's always full. You have to have a reservation. But that little restaurant is right across the street from where we stay. So we see this scene all the time, and it's so inviting and so kind of mysterious. I love this composition. It's kind of a unique composition. It's like 2 paintings in one. It's got the street scene, and then it's got the interior scene, and the door is sort of the bridge between the 2. And then it also feels like it's got a still life in it, the bottles and the glass on the table. So I've been intrigued by this reference photo for a long time, so I was so happy that I got after it yesterday. Now, connecting that scene, let me put it up there just for one more second, Bryce. What I feel like about that painting that's good is that, yes, it's divided in kind of two main sections there, but what connects the 2 sides is the style, the mark making. When I look at that, I think, yeah, that's a kind of different for me, but I recognize myself the way I make the marks in it, and that the mark making is connects both parts of the painting. Now, monthly subscribers are going to get access and the new feature to my whole process, finishing more of these. Today I'm going to work on one of them, but my intention is that monthly people, they get all the good stuff. They're my, my main focus, and I put so much energy into making sure that they have everything that they need to grow and get lots of input from me and get to see what I'm doing. Now, the second one that I worked on is this guy, and I also really like how this one turned out. I just love of course this one is kind of the opposite of the first one in that focal point is so strong right down the center. Linear lines of the scene pointing right to the focal point. It's also got the most contrast there and the most color intensity, so that focal point's completely obvious, and figures right there by the focal point. So it's got all the things that you would, almost everything that you could do to give a strong focal point is happening in that piece. The other thing I love about the reference photo, and I think I got some of it in the piece, is the subtleties, the shifts in the neutrals on those walls. I think that played up so nicely against the pop of color at the end of the structures there. So that's a little bit about what's going on. And, oh, I did want to say about the monthly subscription before I get painting. I just want to say that the monthly subscription, monthly pastel painting lessons online, we're having a summer sale on it right now. And there are coupons in addition to that, the sale price. And the coupons and all the information are in the description of this YouTube video, so you can easily find it. It's right there. So there's a lot of really cool things about year 4 that I'm really proud of. Check it out. We should just show a few of the pieces. I picked out a few of my favorite pieces from year 4. So there's a koi. Oops, that's okay. There's a hibiscus too. So the koi. I've already seen people. A few of those have already popped up on the Facebook page. So I know people are enjoying it already. It's really fun to see. The lion. Lion's really this dramatic, monochromatic piece, something a little bit different. There's quite a few animals in year 4, so really excited to be bringing that. And the steps, this is Mexico, really colorful scene. Some of the lessons I created large. Of course, you wouldn't have to do all of them that I did large as a lesson, but that was just something a little different that I brought to year 4, just getting a little bit bigger scale to the pieces that we're doing. I think it's important, particularly if you have any intention of selling your work or entering shows, mixing up the scale a little bit, I think is really important, and also kind of plays into mark making. And then the hibiscus, finally, that one was a fun one, just bright, colorful. I just love to do flowers, and I think everybody is into that kind of thing. Or not everybody, but a lot of people want to do flowers. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to share before I get painting are a couple other things that you might have seen me doing is the Procreate portraits. And I did this guy in Procreate. Now I'm finally feeling, okay, let me just back up. I've been doing sketching, head drawing in my sketchbook for a long time now, focusing on it, intentionally focusing on it. And then I started doing them in Procreate, and I love doing them. And so months and months and months of just line sketches in Procreate, head drawings. Then I started doing Procreate, what I consider paintings, so in color, in Procreate. So I've been doing those for months and months. And so then when I was at IAPS, of course, I sat in on a couple presentations of portraits, something I'm interested in. And I came home and like, okay, I've got to make that jump. I've got to take that leap and start doing some in pastel and some traditional media. So the other day, I did this guy. The board that I'm using here is not exactly what I would have liked to use, but I had it. And so I decided, okay, I've got this board. I'm just going to go ahead and start. And I like how it turned out, so I'm really going to be jumping into the portrait realm as well. So I think what's cool about having done the Procreate paintings is that I can actually, so I videotape in Procreate, it lets you do a time lapse of every stroke that you made. So I can re-watch those time lapse videos and stop them at any point. So when I'm doing these, my mom said, oh, that's cheating. I said, no, it's not. I did the Procreate by hand. So I can watch what I did in the Procreate drawings to recreate them in pastel. So that's really, really great for me. As I get better and better, I probably will rely on that less and less, but it's a pretty neat little thing to be able to do. Let me set this guy down. Okay. And one other thing I just wanted to show because that idea with the portrait is, to me, just really taking advantage of all the tools that you have to let yourself have an avenue into whatever it is that you're doing. And I really, really believe in that. So this underpainting that I have here is actually, let me go grab that reference photo off the wall, just so you can see. Yeah. So this underpainting is this scene of Florence, which I find really fascinating. This big L shape here, right, in shadow, this square here that's in light. So I had already done this in my sketchbook here a while ago in 2020, and thought, okay, I'm going to just revisit that in pastel, and I think it's going to make a really nice piece as well. So my point here is that anything that you can do, use all the tools, the sketches, Procreate, use it all. It's not cheating. I'm going to give myself the best opportunity to do something of merit. And then one other point, you can see here that I've printed out. I printed out the reference 2 ways, and the reason for doing that is that I can actually draw on this. I could divide this up. I could grid it. I could do whatever I want on this cheap paper. And then this one, the color and the nuances of it are quite a bit better. So usually I'm going to print it out both ways. And I did that today as well. So yeah, coming up here, yeah. So I've got the inexpensive paper, and then I've got a nicer version. And you guys know I'm going to hold that in my hand. I like to hold the reference in my hand as I'm working. You don't have to. It's something that it's a habit that I've had over time, and so that's kind of the way I do it. Now notice that this one I already did. I marked this up a little bit. I've got a center line, and I made that center line. That's how I started the drawing. Just here's the division of the space. One thing about this drawing, I wish I wasn't quite so close to the edge here, but I think I can work it out. I might have to paint actually right to the edge of the paper on this one, but I think it'll be okay. All right, and I did these sketches were done with a black Conti stick, and then I've used an alcohol wash to set that in to the paper, and it gives me that nice kind of value range here. And I've already think that this has already got a nice feel to it. It's already got that glow happening, the dark walls and this glow. I also think that blue sky up there is going to be a nice addition to it when I get to it. Okay, so we'll see how far I get with this today. And I'll get painting. Get my hair up. And Kevin's going to move the camera. Get this out of the way. Yeah, having those underpaintings just sitting there waiting for me is such a great thing. I'm planning on getting a lot of painting done this weekend, and I don't even have to think about it. I'm just gonna go right to it. Ready? Okay. All right. All right, here we go. So these walls, the main thing with it is to make sure that it's all dark enough, right? If it gets too light, then and the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go grab that other painting because it's got. I've already done some of this. Here's the other painting. Yeah. Yeah, I'll put it right here for the moment. So I'm looking at some of the colors in here. The paper color is different, so that's one thing. But some of these colors that I used in here, really nice, and I can use them again. And definitely want to make sure I'm dark enough, right? But there's a lot of light bouncing around in here too, so I've got to keep that in mind. So I want to still say that this is that kind of yellowish wall. So let's see, maybe I need to come over here more a little bit. Maybe like this. So let's give that a try. Put this here. I'm looking at some Giroux over here. This one. Mm-hmm. All right. There's a lot of green right in there too. So maybe something like that. All right. And I also, I want this to have that kind of grittiness to it. Let's see. Oh, and I didn't really expressly say. I think I'll take questions at the end today, just so that I can kind of concentrate on this a little bit more, in a little bit more focused way. Oh, that's not the right spot for that. Oh, I see what I did. Oops. I missed this guy. And then I've got this kind of cast shadow right here. It's not quite the right color, but it's all right. And it gets a little brighter right here. But maybe not that much. We'll see. It might be. It's cooler over here. This might be too light, but I'll see. It's already looking pretty cool. Look, that's pretty neat, right? And I don't need every little detail at all. Oops, I don't want that. Okay. That's too light. This is the car on the side here. And make sure. Cars are not as hard as they look. Just got to keep it simple. Yeah, I wish I had a little more real estate here, but that's all right. I'll make it work. I don't know why I did that. I got a little, this window way up here, it's small, and it's lit. So that's fun, I want that. So I'm gonna try to get that.
Can you just really quickly remind us of the paper you're using?
Yeah, this is Pastel matte, which to me, you know, this kind of scene might be really well served by a grittier paper like a UArt. But again, you know, I came home, I'm like, I'm determined. I got to just get, you know, I can't let some idea that, oh, I've got to have the exact right paper and this and that to paint. So I just decided, no, I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in with what I've got. So that's what I did. This has got some, there's so much color in this, in these walls. Fascinating. All right, that's kind of coming together nice. I think it would be fun to get some of this light going and the sky. That's gonna kind of pull it together really well. Just seeing all those bicycles, see it? It's pretty. There's a lot of complexity in there, but basically, it's just shaped like that. All right. Okay, how about the sky? It's just really, let's see, I'm just putting it right up there. It's pretty dark in value. If I got something like that, that's pretty close. This I got at IAPS. This is Jack Richardson hand rolled. They had the vendors had some really pretty good deals. So I think this is the one to start with anyway. Get the wrapper right off. Oh yeah, look at that. Whew. That's something. Okay, once I have that in there, I'm feeling like I want a little more. Oomph in this black. This is a Terry Ludwig, so it's not black. Okay. There's a post right here and another one here that kind of comes up high. Cool. These little details in the architecture, they're fun to get in there. When I was in Italy, I taught a workshop, but then I stayed and I took an urban sketching workshop with, his name's Noberto. I forgot, it's terrible, I forgot his last name. He's really amazing. This is a little higher, I think, than I've got it. And then these people. Again, this is just a little cluster of people. And I'm not even going to state them as individual people, definitely not at this stage of the game. There's little heads, but I don't know that I even need to do that. And now we can start to get that light. I think that needs to be even darker. So I'm going to go ahead and get something even darker on this. That's better. Okay. Now I'm going to wipe my hands off because I've got a lot of stuff on there, and I'm going to want to put some lights on now. So right in there. So I want to make sure my hands are nice and clean. And dry them off just a little bit. These scenes are so fun to do. And I'm just, puzzle piecing them together. Start in one section and then go to the next. So this is that really beautiful glow that's happening under this archway. And then it kind of gets a little golder and oranger as it comes. There's a little kind of cast shadow. And I'm eyeballing this, I'm not measuring. If you wanted to get into that. But the look I'm going for is more of a kind of sketchy, watery, kind of almost look in a way. Kind of gritty. Maybe a little more attention to how this arch is happening. I don't want to get too weird about it. Okay, that's good. Now, I hear my wind chimes. And there's a lot of detail right in here that, I don't really necessarily think I'm going to include all of it. So arch. I do want those lights. And I do want right here. This is gonna put a little pop here. It kind of comes forward. And the tops of these guys, got some color. to get those lights in. So there's really, right here. I have this a little off, that's okay. There's a little window right there that I'd like to include, but I'm gonna wait. And then just some lights in the crowd here. Put it in there kind of soft. There's maybe a little idea of color there. There's maybe that. And then I can maybe come in and get a few things here, just kind of started. This isn't quite right, but just want to get something, just value-wise, it's maybe a little too light. Maybe more like that, yeah. So everything, this is all in shadow here, and even though that's, you know, white paint on a bicycle, it's not going to come anywhere near the light value that's in the light. Get those softer. I'll come back to those. They're kind of cool though. And then I want this. I do want this. Right. So yeah, it's kind of fun. It's coming together. And then maybe take a little break, take some questions. Do we have questions today?
Yeah, can you talk a little bit? Can you talk a little bit about Richardson pastels?
Yeah, sure. They're not pastels that I have used a lot, but I've had them before. Actually, I won some a number of years ago, and so I started using them after that. So typically, it wasn't. They aren't a brand that I sort of naturally gravitate to, but they have such a nice display and a really good deal at IAPS. So I got some, and I have to say I really do like them. So I probably would gravitate towards them a little bit more future.
And here's another one. Do you have any thoughts about how to paint pieces from around the world when you don't have your own reference photos and want to sell your work in terms of sourcing the references?
Right. So we did that. There are a lot of royalty-free websites now where people allow you to use their images. So one of them is Unsplash, and another is Pixabay. So those are really good sources. The other thing that we're going to be doing this year with the subscription is really encouraging everybody to share their reference photos on the Facebook page or to the group, so that people, you have access to some stuff that you normally wouldn't have access to. And of course, with travel still being a little sticky wicket here, it's a whole different thing these days. And just to share in the beauty and the creativity around the world, it's just such a nice thing. Okay, so yeah, this is coming together. I think this is gonna be worth finishing off, for sure. I think this needs to be a little darker up here. I want this whole rooftop section to sit back a little bit more. There we go. I actually think this needs to be a little darker as well. Transition. Yeah, it needs, to me, it needs a little more just kind of richness of layering. And one thing I might do is spray it with Spectrafix. That's going to give it a little bit more of some texture to it. Let's see if I can get that. There's another little window right there. There's a window right here. I don't know if I can get that to work. Just, I don't need all that detail, but some of it might be interesting. Yeah, so if you are interested at all in the monthly, it's right now is a really good time, because we're only going to have those extra coupons for until well, just about a month. So it's a good time. And unlike a lot of, we've actually lowered our prices because we just want it to be really reasonable. It's a super great value. There's hundreds of videos now. We have an entire library. It's not, and you don't have to go through the do year 1, year 2, year 3. If you do the yearly option, you have access to the entire library all at once, and you can bounce around and do it in any order you want, and there's no rules about it at all. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, let's see my little car. He's actually sticking out. I want that. I want it to be coming out here a little bit more. I'd have to work on that a bit. So I got him too light in value for that shadow. It's a little better. And this actually sticks up a little bit more, like that. And I've got that. Drawing's not perfect. It's close, it's good. All right. Yeah, this place is it's near a little non-touristy place that Deborah and Ivano and I go to here. The good thing about doing a workshop with Deborah and Ivano is native Italian, and so he's a native speaker, and of course, and so we can do things that do things a little differently. It's really fun. Yeah, I think I'm going to be going next spring, so that's really exciting. Haven't been in, obviously, a number of years, so yeah. Okay, that's starting to come together. Cool. Nice. And I'll get this a little bit darker right there. See, I'm really using the pastels to kind of carve into shapes rather than drawing the lines like that. I'm using the side of my stick to kind of carve out the shapes. Right. I would like that to be a little bit. I kind of it'd be fun to put some of the other details in here, like the parking sign and some of the little elements on the wall, and just kind of detail it out over here too. There's some cool architectural elements that would be nice to include, so I think I would definitely take the time to do that. Oh, there's a really cool thing. There's a cast shadow right there. Let's see if that's neat. Right there. Sometimes those little things just give it just the right amount of authenticity. And now I want this wall, this cast shadow right there. It's almost there. It's not reading quite yet. I want to get it. A little bit different color. Maybe this. Also thinking pumping up that color under that archway a little bit. I got to fix the arch. That is one part that, you know, I definitely would want the drawing to be a little bit more accurate on that, so I would fix that. But I like the colors in the wall. It's really fun. Okay, I think I'm going to call it good for today, but I'll take a couple questions if we've got them.
Are you gonna omit that vertical line that's in the photo, all the way to the left?
Oh, this one?
Looks like a gutter or something.
No, I would probably put that in. Yeah. That's just a little architectural element that's, you know, just gonna, you know, it kind of goes with some of these other little details, like to me that's kind of like the parking sign and the, you know, the little window frames and things like that I would want to put in. Just yeah. Yeah, there's all kinds of little things like that that I don't have yet. There's like little grates and things. Yep. All right. Yep. Okay. All right. I think that's about it for today. And thanks for joining. And make sure you head to the website and check out the sale. It's a really good deal. And we'll be coming back, I think, next week with something pastel. I'm pretty sure that's what we're doing next week. So not sure what I'm going to paint yet. All right. I hope you have a great weekend.
Do you want to get to these questions?
Oh, yeah. Do we have questions?
Yeah, just
sure,
a few.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
So do you, how are you feeling about the black underpaintings not using the blue spruce?
Oh, fine. Yeah, it actually, in this case, the case of these that I've been doing, I actually feel like the black Conti is probably in these instances a little more appropriate. So, yeah.
And also, are we allowed to sell paintings we did from your lessons?
That's a really good question. I would be careful about it. If it's a lesson piece, it's a copy of one of my lesson pieces, I would be careful. The right really answer is no. And I'm going to preface that because what I don't want you guys to get into a situation where some other artist is going to call you on that, or you're in a sticky situation. For me, I don't have any problem with you doing that, but I would be careful who that was. If it's someone you know, a friend, something like that. If you're intending to put them in a gallery or something like that, then probably not a great idea. Yeah. Anything else? That's it? All right, good. Well, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you get to paint, do something creative if not, and I will see you guys next time. All right, thanks for coming.